Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another video, and this is a paid request for Jay Sean. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, tier list ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for The Outfit from 2022, which it's a film that I had not heard of when I saw the title. I guess for some reason I thought it'd be an action movie, but it's not. But it's a pretty good one, if you know what kind of movie you're getting. Much, much lower, not lower budget, but more of a... It's not a big, expansive movie in the slightest. It takes place in the 1950s in Chicago, but pretty much all takes place in one tailor shop. Or as he told himself, he's not a tailor, he's a cutter. Where this guy, played by Mark Rylance, he makes suits, sews them, gets them fit for the Irish mob who controls that shop. And the people he deals with, there's his assistant, Mabel, but she's always friendly towards him. There's the main boss, Roy. There's his son, Richie, who's going out with Mabel. And there's this enforcer named Francis. So after setting up the characters, kind of the gist of what's going on, one day Richie and Francis come into the shop and Richie's been wounded. Pretty much our lead, he's threatened to sew the guy up. And then this is like a movie that probably could work as a play, because it mostly takes place in one location in this shop. Either this back room or the front of the shop. And we never really go outside of it ever again. And without getting too much into it, what made it work was I liked the story it was telling and the performances, especially by Mark Rylance. Not sure, is that how you pronounce his last name? Rylance? I know I've seen him in other stuff. He's a much older gentleman, very kind of particular and seemingly non-threatening, and kind of you just see why people would trust him. You see why people would be kind of easier around him. He has this kind of friendly vibe to him. Seems like he'd be someone's butler. Oh, yes, sir. Like, he just very non-threatening. And it gets, I guess the story just, I really like this guy's performance. And I kind of figured what was going on, but I was seeing how all the pieces fell. And I thought it did a good job. And where there's a rat, and people wondering who the rat is, who's the traitor, how certain people are involved. I don't know how to talk about without it spoiling the movie. Before I do that, let me give credit to the people who made it, because I thought, again, this was a pretty decent film. So it's directed by Graham Moore. Graham Moore, he had done The Imitation Game. He wrote it. He didn't direct it. I think this is the only film he directed. Trying to think. I think he won. Trying to think. So he won an Academy Award in 2015. What was it for? Was it for The Imitation Game? Yeah. So that won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay. Sorry about the hesitance. So he wrote a screenplay and won an Oscar for that, and this is the only film he directed, which he wrote as well. And Mark Rylance, he did a lot of Shakespearean movies. I just want to look at his films. And sorry about the silence there. Oh, he was the old man that created everything in Ready Player One. No wonder he seemed familiar. He was also in this Jason Statham film Blitz, which I forgot. I like that movie, but I forgot all about it. It's been a while since I've seen Blitz. But yeah, I do remember him as the old guy that created everything in Ready Player One. So that's where I remember him from. So again, the spoilers. It's about manipulation. That's really what the story is about, manipulation. And I kind of figured a bit of what was going on, because the way he would talk to people, as in he would kind of ask these questions, I'm like, okay, it seems like he's really trying to cast doubt on this other person, but not really. So, for example, he's talking to Richie, the boss's son, who he's just sewed up the wound, while the other guy, Francis, is left. And the way he kind of answers questions of, oh yeah, he left, and yeah, there's no way he would be a rat because he's family. There's no way he could do it, and I mean, you're the son, and he's the enforcer. Like, he would say these things. I'm like, he's saying these things particularly to repeat these certain ideas in this guy Richie's mind of, yes, I am my father's son. Yes, this guy isn't family. Yes, he. You know. I'm like, okay, you're riling him up, but trying to not get him to notice that you're doing so. Even the way when Francis comes back in, and then he's talking about Richie. He's a bit. I think he's lightheaded, and he's saying these certain things about how, about a rat. He kept talking about a rat. I'm like, well, he was, but not in the way you're saying it. So, right then and there, I'm like, okay, this guy is definitely a manipulator. And there's something going on with this guy where he's trying to play chess while they're playing checkers. And that's really what it is. And it's just interesting to see how it all falls together. So again, spoilers, heavy spoilers throughout. There's a standoff, and Francis and Richie are in a standoff, and eventually Francis has to shoot Richie in the neck and kills him. And then Francis says, listen, you need to help me put this guy in this trunk. And then the boss comes in, and they have to lie that Richie's gone. And then the lead has to make up a lie of, oh, well, he was embarrassed. Him and Francis had that shootout. He was embarrassed because he didn't kill anybody. And he wanted to shoot one of your rivals, the La Fontaines. So he went out there to get something done. And then one of the boss's lackeys had brought the girl, the assistant, over and says, hey, this girl is Richie's girlfriend, and let's torture her. Maybe she's the rat. Maybe something's going on here. And the lead guy's trying to stop it. Now, granted, this phone call happens and is very, very convenient. And yeah, there are a lot of movies that have convenience, and I can live with them. But it does get annoying. It makes you go, okay, if this phone call had not happened at this time, then how the hell would this guy get out of this situation? But a phone call happens, he answers it, and pretty much lies, because they're not going to hear what's on the other end. He lies, says, oh yeah, thank God, thank goodness. Oh, your son is over there. He's at this place here, and he's doing fine. And then everybody leaves except him, the girl, and Francis. Again, how convenient that none of the other lackeys stayed behind, which would have screwed up the plan we find out later on. And then the lead guy goes, oh yeah, she is the rat. And he tells about how he knows this girl was working with the FBI and had this tape, and you're also working at the LaFontaine, so you talk to them to try to get Richie and them killed and to get information and to get some money, and then you want to get the hell out of here. But since you know the LaFontaines, why don't you call them and make a trap so that boss gets killed? And hey, Francis, if you work with us, you'll be the leader. Which at this point, Francis should be... Because earlier, Francis is like, you're not a rat. Like, no one would ever think of you as that. You're just a tailor. You think Francis would start to realize, okay, there's someone up with this guy. This guy's a good liar. This guy's a good manipulator. This guy's not just a guy who makes suits. There's something more to him, but Francis doesn't think that because I guess he's too stupid. So then Francis goes, okay, when the LaFontaines come in to give your money, I'm going to take them out and get the money. So Francis is in a closet. The LaFontaines come in. And then, again, why Francis would believe the lead guy, because he's lied before. He's lied to other people. And he's seen how good this guy is at lying. But secretly tells them, he's over there. So they shoot the shit out. They shoot Francis like 2 times. He also tells another lie where the guy's got the gun. He's like, he's not going to shoot. I took his bullets out of his gun. So the guy looks and then gives enough time. And that's the thing, he does certain things. Like he'll say something so Richie will pause or someone else will pause and try to give the result that he's wanting. So in this case, he lies about the gun he took the bullets out, which wasn't the case, so that they could shoot him. And then when the LaFontaines leave and the lead is talking to the girl, he tells about how this whole thing was his plan. This whole thing where there's this thing called the Outfit that was sending letters to the boss and the Irish mob, and he was sending them. The Outfit had nothing to do with it. He was sending it. Because he wanted to fuck all these guys over. Because you kind of find out that our lead guy was an enforcer of a gang in London. He wanted to leave. He got this new wife and kid. They came, burnt his place down. His wife and kid died. And he went to Chicago to lead a new life. And as soon as he got to Chicago, he was part of this other gang owning his shop, and he wanted to take them down. So he created this plan where he had these phony letters sent in to make it seem as if they were in trouble and cause danger. Then he knew that this girl was doing stuff with the FBI, so he found the tapes. He made fake tapes, gave them to LaFontaines, and here, you give these real tapes to the FBI. They'll take out their operation, and then you escaped with your money now to wherever you need to go. And we're not quite at the end yet, but I'm sitting there going, okay, a number of things could have gone wrong. Like I said, what if that one moment he didn't get the phone call? What would he have done then? Or there's a joke where Mark Rylance tells to Richie, oh, I am the rat. Then you start laughing. What if he did believe him? What if he did try to shoot the lead guy because he stupidly believed he was the rat, or he maybe non-stupidly? Like, what if he, like, there's a lot of questions. What if Francis didn't? What if Francis, when as soon as you put the body in the trunk, immediately shot you in the face? Or hell, what if he shot you right after he shot this guy in the neck, and then told a lie about how people came in and shot the tailor, they shot this guy in the neck, shoots his, oh, they shot me too, wounded me, made up a whole bunch of stuff. Or what if Francis didn't go along with your plan to fuck over his boss because he realizes, like, you're manipulating too? Or, you know what, I'm not going to hide in the closet. Or what if the main boss had left one or two of his lackeys? You guys stay behind. I'm going to go by myself to get my kid. Then what would they have done? It just seems like a lot of things could have gone wrong for this guy to manipulate this in the way that he was able to. I mean, maybe that's just me. So sometimes that stuff's a bit annoying. But when I say I enjoyed the story, it means I enjoyed the lead guy's story in terms of getting to know about his character, what happened to his family back to the day, the way he tries to manipulate, or how he's very kind of non-imposing, easygoing, friendly. The way he's like, oh, don't worry about him shooting. I took the bullets out of his gun. So the guy's like, what? At least throwing something out there that may or may not work. And it did work. Like, that stuff is kind of interesting. And then the acting was good. It was a different take on a gangster movie. So it didn't feel like it was a ripoff of Goodfellas or any other gangster movie. The ending where he didn't expect everything, so that goes to show you, because Francis is alive and wounds the lead guy. Then the lead guy, kind of his changed demeanor, where I used to be like, yeah, I was a gang enforcer, just shows his tattoos on his arms, and how the guy tries to stab him, and how he does this quick move and does these shears to the guy's neck. And then, you know, shears in the guy's neck, he ain't gonna make it, and he doesn't. And the lead guy did a really good job. When he says the line, I want so bad to be good, you buy it. You buy this turmoil where this guy's, you know, wife and kid died because he tried to lead a happier, better life, and he couldn't have that. And then here he tries to go on the straight and narrow, and still crime has to surround him, and he's got to do it this way and kill this guy. You buy the guy's turmoil. You buy the guy's angst about it. Like, it goes to show you what happens if you get a really good central performance. How, yeah, there are conveniences, but I'm able to still enjoy the story as it went for the most part. very dialogue heavy. If you're expecting action, if you're expecting humor, if you're expecting spectacle, it's not the movie. Again, this mostly takes place in one location. Pretty much 2 or so rooms. But I think some of the dialogue is well written. The performances, especially by Mark Rylance, are strong. I didn't feel too bored. Once it started going, I was hooked to see where. I kind of guessed where it was going, but just I was still enjoying the ride. It had good actors. Dialogue that was nice to listen to. And it worked for me. I liked it. I did like the film. Even with the amount of conveniences. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.